Hi guys, I'm Brooke and this is Pippa, and we travel full-time in my 2011 Honda Pilot, and we have been on the road since August of 2020. And something I see a lot in the comments is, do I get lonely on the road? Where are my friends? Where are my family? How do I meet people? Am I really just sitting in this front seat by myself all the time? I would like to remind everybody that this is a YouTube channel that I'm filming and producing and editing all from the inside of my car. So yes, you do just see me sitting in the front seat because that is the easiest way for me to get some natural light and good lighting when I'm filming. Also, when it is windy, it makes it so that you can hear what I'm saying, but that does not mean I spend 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, sitting in this front seat all by myself. I know that that's hard to believe because that's what you guys see, but at the same time, I do have a life outside of this YouTube channel that I choose not to film, and a lot of that is my personal life and my personal relationships and things like that. If you want to hear more about my dating life and my previous thoughts on being lonely and things like that, I will leave those videos down below. I think what I said in all of those still stand to be true. They're only from about a year ago, but I did want to touch on this subject again because I feel like after the pandemic, a lot of people feel like they really got separated and ripped apart from their friends, their family, their community, and we all feel very isolated. And going on the road, it can be a isolating experience. I will say, just because I'm not alone 24/7 doesn't mean that I don't spend a huge portion of my time by myself. One of my favorite parts about doing this like little reboot of the basics is going back over some of these topics and finding out that my initial thoughts have been pretty similar to how they were a year ago. They really haven't changed that much. And also, because now my channel has grown and I get way more feedback in the comments than I did at the beginning, I find it to be one of those things that I actually get really sad inside that more people, especially women, are too afraid or are not confident enough to go out and try some of these things by themselves. I know safety is always the biggest issue that people are afraid, but these things take practice. I have said that in countless other videos. You need to practice building up that confidence and building up that sense of knowing in yourself that you can rely on your own instincts to be out here and to experience things and not have to wait for your husband, your best friend, your mom, your sister, your dog to be ready. Like, you should be able to be confident enough to take the leap and go try something new on your own, even if that means going overnight at a state park that's 25 minutes down the road and just trying it out. I know it is way easier to rely on a group of people to support you, but even if you do find that group of people and that caravan that's perfect, that doesn't mean though, just because you find the perfect group of people to travel with or the perfect partner, that there aren't going to be times where you are going to have to be by yourself. Just the same way as if you lived in a house with a partner or a roommate or a friend, there is going to be a time where you have to go your separate ways due to work or life or health issues, etc., and you're going to have to spend the night alone every once in a while. And I think it's more important for me to get the message out that you need to work that muscle and really practice in instilling that confidence in yourself to be able to go do things without waiting for other people than it is to give tons and tons of tips and tricks on how to find a caravan or things like that. Am I saying that I'm against caravans and making friends on the road? Absolutely not. Am I saying you should be locked into a life of aloneness and misery for the entire time you're traveling? Absolutely not. Sharing travel experiences with other people is such a unique experience and it is so much fun, but it can also be really stressful. And I do want to remind everybody who's watching, just because you meet somebody on Facebook, you meet somebody in a girl group, a caravan group, etc., just because you have the same interests of being on the road and traveling does not mean that the same interpersonal issues that would happen in a friendship or in a relationship or in a family member dynamics don't also happen in travel life on the road as well. Just because you share interests with somebody does not mean you travel the same way or in a desirable way to each other. I find that new travelers really want to latch on to somebody more experienced to basically walk them through the process of being on the road and how to find campsites, and really kind of play follow the leader and have somebody be like one-on-one, you know, their mentor. But you have to remember that the people who are living on the road also have lives. I know that that sounds kind of harsh, but these people also have other friends, other hobbies, different ways that they travel, and things that they like to do alone or with other people. So just because you want to find a caravan group does not mean you can latch onto certain members and basically follow them around, because you are going to run into conflicts just the same way as if you did that with friends or at work or something like that. I want you to think about how you can be the best member of a caravan if you were to meet up with one. What do you bring to the table? What skills, what hobbies, in exchange for knowledge from that more experienced member? Because in real life, it is hard to have a one-sided friendship of somebody who just wants something from one member or multiple members of that group, and without contributing really anything friends-wise or relationship-wise or anything like that. It's kind of like having a guy like puppy dog around you at a party instead of going out and making their own friends and really adding to that social experience. I know that that sounds really harsh. I also would warn you against being too reliant on too many other people to make decisions for you. When you're out on the road, you really need to build up your intuition and trusting your gut and trusting your own ability to make decisions. And what I see a lot of times with people who caravan, they just go along with the pack and they let people kind of make all of the decisions, even if maybe you don't feel quite right about it, or that wouldn't be the location you would choose or what you want to do that day, just because of the fact that they are in a caravan. You need to be able to stand up for yourself. You are an adult, I'm guessing, if you're trying to live on the road, and that you can make your own adult decisions. So if everybody wants to go hiking one day and you want to stay back, you need to be able to stand up and say, hey, I'm not feeling it today. I actually just want to read a good chapter in my book and take a nap and be done with it. People get really attached to wanting to be in these groups and having it be their full-time existence. And for some people, don't get me wrong, I'm guessing there are communities out there that being together 24/7 really works out for them. But I think for most people, it is an ebb and flow of a friendship and kind of a roommate kind of dynamic, to where you have to still be your independent person and not just rely on that group to bring you all the knowledge, bring you all the experience, and do all the decision making for you. You still need to be a full person inside of that group. That's not just, like I said, playing follow the leader and really not contributing much to the group dynamic. So you also have to respect people's boundaries of the fact that, like, hey, I've been around people for 2 weeks. This has been a really great ride, but I need some alone time and I gotta go off on my own. And you need to respect those boundaries and know that that person isn't being mean to you and doesn't hate you and doesn't not want to travel with you, but they do need that alone time to recharge. And that's why a lot of people are out here. They do like their alone time. I will give you a few places to meet people on the road. Obviously, if you are more familiar with Facebook, there are tons of Facebook groups that get set up, including mine. I have a Facebook group. You can network with the people who also watch me to possibly go on camping trips or beginner trips or things like that. There are obviously dedicated Facebook groups for people who are sober, for people who are moms, for people who are dads, for people who are single, for people who are retired. There are tons and tons and tons. If you can dream it, there is a Facebook group for it, and just start joining them. You have to put yourself out there. Nobody's gonna come to you and be like, hey, I haven't seen you post in a while. Like, is everything okay? You need to be putting yourself out there and say, hey, I'm planning a trip during this and this and this day. Is there anybody else who is coming that wants to meet up or will be in that area? You really have to be active in putting yourself out there. Think of it like dating. You may be also trying to find these friendships, but they're not going to just fall in your lap. You need to be active in communicating with people and trying to put yourself out there. Are you going to get a lot of no's or a lot of unanswered posts? Of course you are. That is how things work. But you need to just keep trying at it until you find your people. You can also go to events. There are events all across the country, all months of the year. Again, these events are usually posted on social media. So if you aren't on social media, it is probably the time to be active. And now I hear from a lot of people, hey, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, I don't have TikTok, or this or that or whatever. I only watch YouTube. And that is totally, totally fine. But when you think about it, when you get on the road, you are removing yourself from a concrete location with community attached. You have to start building out your social media profiles, because that is how you are going to connect with people when you have no specific location to be attached to. Now you are attached by the digital world, and if you don't want to be attached by the digital world, that is totally fine, but you are going to miss out on a lot of connections that you might otherwise have made. And like I said, with building out your profile, you need to be putting pictures of yourself out there if you're looking to make friends, or videos of your pets, or whatever you want to do, because when somebody clicks on your profile, when you make a comment in a Facebook group or Instagram, DM them, they want to see who you are, just the same as you want to see who they are. If you're expecting someone to meet up with you without giving any information about yourself on your social media profile, it kind of looks creepy. It kind of looks like you're catfishing, or that you're hiding just behind like a generic username. I see it 150,000 times a day on my comments of just people's profile pictures of pets, and it makes me sometimes wary of messaging back, because I cannot put a face to a name of who is contacting me. It works the same in the real world. Would you be apt to meet up with someone who you've never seen any information about them? Wouldn't that seem a little bit scary? Or would you want to meet up with a person who has a fully fleshed out profile with tons of pictures of their travels and themselves and their rig, so you can see what the experience of meeting up with and being friends with that person would be like? Build it out like your social resume. I hope this gives you some more things to think about being social on the road. So I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.